engagement adventure. Greetings, grasshoppers. You know what time it is. My name is RJ Redden. If you don't know me, I create epic engagement adventures for folks. And I do a beautiful interview every Thursday. But this Thursday, even more beautiful. I have with me Cody Nielsen, and he is a coach and I must say a friend at this point. I love this guy. I met him at probably some social networking, type of thing or another, but he really stuck in my head as a person who, A, cares about coaching a great deal, and B, cares about his clients a great deal. And I invited him here so that he could tell us all about himself and all about how he engages his audience. Welcome, Cody. How you
Thank
doing
you.
today?
Happy to be here. Doing good. Yeah, excited for the conversation.
Beautiful. Well, so tell us, give us start out with the basics. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Cody Nielsen, as you said, I reside up in the Great White North of Alberta, Canada. And I work with small business owners that want to take more control of their business, that want to enjoy business ownership more fully. There's an epidemic of stressed out, unprofitable business owners that have gone through the honeymoon phase of maybe starting a new venture or starting on with a new company, and it gets harder and harder if you don't have the right tools and resources. So as a entrepreneur myself for the last 12 years, I know the stress that comes from it. I've been that dad that brought my work and stress home, strained the marriage, not there for the kids. I had managers making more money than me, questioned why I was doing it. But I've also had the years of success and making more money than most people around me, feeling the fulfillment that comes from serving clients and building a company that you built. And through all of that, I wanted to continue to work with business owners and help them avoid the stresses that I went through, because it can be very lonely. There aren't many business owners in your community, right? There's a lot of businesses when you go and drive down the road, but the vast majority of people are working for businesses, not running one. And so it can feel very lonely to be in that sphere on your own and feel like you're the only one dealing with hiring issues and cash flow issues and high debt, or a bad client complaint to review. So I just wanted to insert myself into there. I've always loved teaching. I've always loved serving in that. I'm also a pretty driven, visionary type person. And so that just made sense. Go help work with small business owners as a coach and consultant and help them take control. Like, that's usually why people get into business, is because they want more time for themselves. They want to make more money. They want to introduce some product or service to people and love it. But too many of us aren't hitting those marks, and now we're just putting out fires. So I'm on a mission to help the business owner take control and love what they do, make a bunch more money and have happier clients. And hopefully I make some money along the way myself.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on a mission to take the fire extinguisher out of people's hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put it on the shelf. Like, you might need it every once in a while, but like, let's take it out of not keep it on your desk where it's in arm's reach all the time.
Let's get the death grip. Let's get that not going anymore. Was there like a specific incident that made you go, I need to focus my life in this direction? Or was it just sort of a slow realization for you?
It was more of a slow realization. Business was not something I wanted to get into. It was an opportunity we saw to start a business while I was in management school to fill the gap between semesters in the summer. And that snowballed and turned into a full-time business to the point where I couldn't manage both. So I put school on hold, ran the company for a while. It it was a construction landscape company, so it wasn't like my passion or dream to continue that on. So eventually that was shut down, and I went back and got my management degree. But now having experience as a business owner, building a business from scratch, seeing kind of the pros and the cons of it, school teaches you how to work for someone else typically. And I came out with a finance major, and I thought, I don't know if I want to work at a bank. I don't know if I want to go work in corporate, be a financial planner, go get hired somewhere. I was like, I've had the reins before. Now I know what that's like. How do I continue to do that? And so I learned about coaching and consulting through some research, and it wasn't a field I was very familiar with while I ran my company. And I wish I knew about them more, because I probably would have utilized them. So it was just through that process of what do I want to do with my education and now the experience I've had as an entrepreneur, and coming to find coaching and consulting where I can run my own independent practice and I'm still working with business owners in that world. It checked so many boxes for me. And but it came over time. It wasn't like a snap of the fingers epiphany that I knew I needed to do that. It slowly built, and it still is, to be honest, because I see different ways to do it every day, different ways to help and serve customers, build my own business. So I feel like I'm continually getting that. It's becoming clearer and clearer by the day as I just keep moving forward.
And that's, that's something that a lot of times, when we do what we're supposed to do and get that corporate job, that was what I was supposed to do. That way seemed so, it just was Groundhog Day all the time. But you're right. When you get into your own business, there are so many things that are just like, hey, is this normal? Is this thought normal? Is this circumstance normal? And when you don't have anyone to ask, that can be an incredibly lonely world to be in.
It really is, yeah. And this is more of a male thing, but we also have a harder time being vulnerable and reaching out. We try to be the problem solvers and the solution makers. So when we get into those situations in small business, that's lonely already, and then we don't reach out, it just compounds. So not that you're asking for it, but a suggestion, if you're listening to this and you're a male small business owner, don't be too proud. Reach out. Whether that's a friend, a mentor, business coach, whoever, like, just don't stay in your hole by yourself for too long.
Climb out of the foxhole, please. Mm-hmm. It's true though. I mean, ever since I've been in business, I have always had a coach, at least one, honestly.
Very wise.
Yeah, because I am a coach. I need a coach. I need and I want someone to be looking at my business with an objective eyeball and telling me when I might need to do this part differently next time. I appreciate coaches who have a little bit of a soft touch when telling me my mistakes. But I need I need that input, or else everything just kind of, everything conspires to drive you a little bit nuts, I think.
And as a coach, how are you supposed to convince others of the importance of having a coach if you don't have one?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And yeah, like, we may understand the principles, but it's the shoemaker's kids are barefoot. That's how I see it. Like, I don't know how to coach myself. And so coaches need coaches. Everyone needs coaches. Yeah.
Can you tell me about a really great moment that you had with a client that really made you know, hey, I am on track. This is a great, this is a great thing for me to be doing?
Not one in particular sticks out, but there's a few that do with kind of different situations. One of the first clients I ever had, and this was when I was, a new rookie coach and still trying to feel myself out. Am I doing the right things? But over the course of about a year and a half, I was working with them. They had 2 businesses at the same time. and they were being spread thin between the two. And after the year and a half of working with him, he had hired enough people to manage the one business so that he could focus on what he felt was more profitable. And that business has now been nominated for awards on a national level in Canada. And the other business, like, he's not as stressed out. He had a young kid. He was married. His wife was a business partner with him. And it was very eye-opening and fulfilling to see, being spread super thin, really stressed out. And over time, because this doesn't happen overnight. I tell that to clients. I'm not this quick fix weekend guy. I don't have a special sauce. We're farming. We're planting seeds. We got to nurture it and grow it. We got to take care of it. And we're going to see some moments of reaping the rewards and gathering the fruit sometimes down the road. And that was one of those moments to see him detached from the one business, still have oversight and making money from it, but he's not in the operations of it, right? And focusing on this other one and now being nominated for major awards. Really cool story. Another one, this is a very simple one. Started off, had about 6,000 in sales, the client I was working with, a month. And now they're up to about 20 to 25 on any given month. So every story is a little different. Some people, it's relieving more stress. It's not all money. Money will tend to be a result, but sometimes it's income. Sometimes it's building your team. One client that sticks out to me with that question as well is I do extended DISC. I don't know if you've ever done behavioral assessments like Myers-Briggs DISC. So I'm certified in extended DISC, and this client of mine needed a front-end office staff member. And she had a few applications come in, narrowed it down to 2. And I said, okay, what are you thinking about those 2 applicants? And she said, I think I like this one. I was like, okay, tell me a little bit about her and why you chose her. And after she explained it to me, I said, I know why you want that person. She says, okay. I said, because she's exactly like you. That's not who you want, though. You're this extroverted, don't know how to maintain a schedule, messy desk person. You need a secretary, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, you need someone that can tighten up your schedule, keep the desk clean, vacuum the floors, keep you in order. But you don't know how to handle that. Your other applicant is that person, right? And she's like, yes. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not telling you what to do here, but as your coach, I'm just trying to help you, see what's going on. And so she said, okay, I know. So she hired the person that was complementary to her.
Nice.
And ever since, she said, it's awesome. It's been great, and she's just had to learn, everyone needs to do this. How do you communicate with someone who communicates in a bit of a different style than you? If you're extroverted, how do you converse with introverted people? Well, you can learn. It takes some time, but everyone can do it. So that was another success story. It didn't have to do with money. It's obviously going to help the income stream down the road because now she's got some more efficiencies. But it wasn't directly related to, let's just increase your profit.
Right.
Do the right things, and that will be a result.
That's true. And there's so many areas in our lives where we can profit that don't have a lot to do with money. The time spent with family, that is profit for me. Time spent with family not worrying about my business, even better.
Right.
Time spent with friends, meaningful time spent. We just went through the whole crisis of 2020, and all of a sudden everybody started working from home, and it was like, all of a sudden we're around our families all the time. There wasn't any difference for me. I have worked from my second bedroom for a long time, but yeah, all of a sudden it was like people started to think about where they spend their time and how profitable that can be, not just financially, but also mentally.
And that's why you do what you do anyway. It's like your money is supposed to do something for you. Right? And so if all you have is, a big vault like Scrooge McDuck that you can just go dive in, but no time, then what's the point? So yeah, you're right.
Well, and just so everybody knows, I have experienced Cody's coaching method, and you know what? You're right. You're not a weekend warrior with a canned, repetitive solution for everybody you meet. You are a person that helps people dig into themselves, because a lot of times I know the answer. It's just covered up by all the stories I tell myself.
Right.
And so, I love the way that you do things. I think that it just demonstrates how much you care. I mean, there are tons of people out there that will, I can make you $10,000 in 10 weeks or 10 days or whatever they're promising today. But there are also people that have a formula, not a formula, sort of a lockstep. This is what you have to do next, but it's much more, hey, let's dig into what's going on with you. And I just think that that is so, I think that's precious out in the world. I just think that that is something that I wish that more people did, honestly. What led you to do, kind of that kind of more inquisitive type coaching?
It's a good question. I don't know if I've answered that very specifically before.
I'm here with all the good questions. I'll give you a minute to think. It's okay.
Well, I think it comes from I'm a pretty all or nothing person. So I'm very driven, but I have a little bit of, in the DISC assessment, what you would call C, which is the conscientious. There you're very analytical, detail oriented, but I'm mixed with the D, which is the dominant, which is can be very impatient, driven, goal oriented, focused, future oriented. And so I've always had this desire that whatever I do, I want to do well. And I don't want to just do well. I kind of have this maybe prideful idea that what I do, I want people to go, oh, that was like, I haven't seen it like that before. Or he's really good at it. There's something about that feeling, giving to other people, that has always attracted me. I grew up loving Michael Jordan. That's what he did for people, right? It's like he gave that sense of awe. So I think there's a little bit of that in me that wants to maybe selfishly impress people, but for the purpose of their benefit too. I want them to walk away having a great experience, and I want to be really good at what I do. So as I got into the coaching realm, I started to look like, who are the best coaches? How do I become a good coach? Because you get into coaching not very skilled, and you start to lead people or project on people, right? I've been a business owner. I know what to do. Or this is, you start shooting on people. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. And that's not what a coach should do. We shouldn't shoot on people. We're supposed to find the knot in their head, help them untangle it, help them find clarity on where they want to go. So the first person that comes to my mind that I learned from, his name is Rich Litvin, and his trainer was Steve Chandler. Maybe you've heard of them, but wrote a really good book called The Prosperous Coach. And it's not for business coaches necessarily. It's for anyone that coaches people. But that's where it really hit me, that coaching is a science, and can be a very well-respected profession and industry, but it's not intuitive, I guess. And so I started there, and then in my coaching association, I talked to some of the really successful, multiple six-figure coaches, and I was like, teach me, can you coach me? Where are my weak spots? Tried to be as vulnerable as I could to break through. And so again, over time, practicing little things here and there, being open to opinions from other people about how I could improve, learning from the best. But in the end, it comes down to the client. Like, I've been the person that needs help, and I've had people that think they're helping, and they're not, because they have an idea of what they think I should do, but they don't know the whole story. And you need someone who's got some coaching skills to just ask good questions. Like you said, you know the answer. You understand where you want to go and what's best for your business and best for your life. I just need to help pull that out and organize your thoughts, and then maybe give you a little pat on the butt to get moving a little bit and light some fire under you so that you take some action. So that was maybe a longer answer than you were looking for, but in the end,
Loved it.
I want my clients to walk away and go, that helped, that worked. And I like a kind of a litmus test for me is how long am I working with my clients?
Yeah.
I work with a lot of my clients for well over a year, which is a good sign that this isn't just let me tell you how to read an income statement and then your problem is solved. It's actually like, hey, when there's a roadblock that comes in my business, I have a coach that I can bounce things off and I can work through this, because there's no finish line.
No.
In business,
it's a process.
Right?
Yeah. Well, no, I think that was an awesome answer. I just, it always intrigues me, those turning points and those reasons why. I think that those are often more telling than the actions themselves sometimes. Well, so now we come to the question that I ask everyone that comes on the podcast. How do you engage your audience?
I like this question because I've had to shift how I engage my audience. So running my landscape company, it was totally different method of attracting and acquiring and engaging people. I could have a promotion, I could have before and after pictures, I could be in the trade show with a trade show sale and a booth. I put flyers on the door. And now as a business coach, it's completely flipped on its head. There's no promotions, there's no sales. I can't put a flyer out to the neighborhood because most people don't need what I do. It's very trust-based, relation-based. And so engaging my audience really looks like networking. And it's finding ways for people to look at me and have some experiences with me that show I'm credible, trustworthy, and that a couple other people have heard about me that they can ask and go like, is he okay? Is he legit? Have you worked with him? Have you heard from him? That's the only way I really gain any ground. So the way I try to do that, a lot of networking events, which is where I think we met on Speaker Connections.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. So I love to go to networking events and connect with people. In those, I just try to set up one-to-one meetings. How can we support each other's businesses? And then I also put on a lot of free workshops online. One of my favorite ones that I do, it's a book summary. And so monthly, I put on a book summary. It's a business or leadership book. Oh, there you go. And I do one every month. They'll be on topics like the next one is Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the best. Obviously, not specifically a business book, but 100% applicable to everyone in business. But leadership books on team development, sales, marketing, financials, and they're completely free. They're only 1 hour online, and we just go through the main points of that book. If you want the book summary, I sell it for $10, and you can get that too. But so that's one way I engage, is just serve them, educate them. They get some exposure to me. If they're interested, they'll call me up and say, hey, I'd like to learn more. Can you help me implement this? I also do strategic planning sessions. I'm doing another free one February 2nd, I believe it is. 2 hours, completely free. Come, you get a workbook, and plan your 2023 in your next 90 days. So that's the most part. And then if someone's really interested, and me and you did this together, your first session with me is free. I want you to test drive the process. So I don't sit down with you for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's 90 minutes, and I'm not going to explain coaching. I'm just going to coach you. Yeah. I want you to know if that process is valuable. I want you to go through it so that at the end of that call, I say, hey, if this was valuable to you, we can work together. If not, that's okay. But I'm not going to strong arm you. I'm not going to pull any pushy sales tactics. It's just, if that process is something you think will help in your business, then let's talk about working together. So that's how I engage. Did that answer clear enough?
It was beautiful. It was
Okay.
beautiful. I mean, you engage. I mean, if I may summarize what I got out of that, you engage by serving first.
I try. Yeah, I try.
Yeah. I mean, the book club, which I'm going to be there for Atomic Habits. I love that guy. BJ Fogg, is it?
James Clear.
James Clear. Yeah, James Clear. Those are the two habit guys that I just absolutely love. Because they're all about systems and not goals, and I love that
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But also, with your 90-minute session, with your strategic planning sessions, you're looking to serve first, and if you're interested, come this way. It's not a desperation. It's not a one of those sell heavy things, and all of that goes to show, which is one of the mantras that I kind of keep repeating a lot is nice people can finish first, everybody. And Cody here is an example of that.
Thank
uh
you.
yeah, I mean, it's not always about the hard sell. Holy moly. And that's really popular, super popular. And I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, Cody, but I think I've been told so many times in my life, you've got to be more aggressive. Have you been told that?
Oh yeah. Be more assertive. Be more aggressive. And it's not 100% false, but I think we default to that when we don't know that there are other options out there, like serving and educating and not strong arming people. Yeah, because no one likes it.
No one likes to be strong armed.
No, no, we know what we like. If you're gonna solve my problem and your puzzle piece fits mine, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
It's
there you
yeah,
go.
put the ball in their
It's
court. That's kind of how I see it.
Well, and it seems to be a process rather than an event, which I love as well.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, we are running out of time. I knew we would. I knew we would, Cody, just because I like spending time with you. But if you do, you have any final words of wisdom for the people?
Words of wisdom would be: it's 2023, early 2023. Don't go into it with goals, and you kind of mentioned this. Go into it with a vision of where you'd like to go, but then create a game plan, an execution plan of how to do it. Don't live off motivation, live off systems, live off
Yes.
efficiencies. And that's part of what the Atomic Habits books is about. That's part of what I help my clients build out. But if you're stressed out as a business owner watching this, or even in your personal life at home, check and see what systems you have in place that are helping you. Do you have consistencies and efficiencies? And life can be better. Business can be better. It can be a little easier. You can make a little more money. You could, hey buddy, and enjoy life. Enjoy the little things like that, right?
Yeah. Well, my friend, I'm gonna we'll wrap it up here. Thank you for coming. This was
Thank
an
you.
absolutely stellar podcast today. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for the invite. Hope we can do it again.
Beautiful. Everybody, click on that link that I threw down there. Go to the book club. I'll be there to this month. We'll cheer Cody on together, and that's it for this week. We will